right, shalom, shalom. Shalom, shalom. All right. Let's see. Let's see how we sounding over here. Facebook and YouTube. Hold on. Let's see. There we go. We sounding good. Most High in Christ. Go ahead, clap it up. All right. Shalom. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshua Thumb to all the brothers. Yahweh Shamar Alathun Ba'Shem Yahweh to all the sisters. I'm Precinct Officer of 5,000 Malak, the camp leader here in Kansas City, Missouri, under Commanding General Yohana, with the ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We are all under Commanding General Yohana, and we are not affiliated with any organization or Israelite groups. With that being said, let's get into tonight's class. I'm your teacher and your host tonight, Officer of 5,000 Malak. The number to the Kansas City School, just so you know, if anybody wants to know, it's 913-730-0659. Once again, the number here to ISUPK Kansas City is 913-730-0659. All right, if any trooper, any young officer wants to come into this class and join this class, just hit me up and let me know on Messenger. I'll send you the link. All right. Tonight's topic is a heavy topic, a real good topic, I believe. We finished off with the terrible mothers on Sunday. How fitting, it was Mother's Day on Sunday, and we finished up with breaking down terrible mothers, terrible women, and how to be a better woman. That's the key to understanding life, is that in life, you want to strive to be better. You don't want to be the same. You want to be better every day. Your goal in life, no matter your age, no matter what sex you are, you should strive, or your gender. I should start saying gender so we don't get flagged. No matter what age you are, what gender you are, you should always strive to be better. Always strive to be a better version of you. Always be the best that you can be. That's in life, right? That's the truth. You're making a revolution in life. And so Sunday we went over terrible moms, terrible women, and how sisters can be better mothers. The key is not to stay a terrible mom your entire life or the entirety of your children's lives. The goal is to be a better mother, to be a better father, to be a better teacher, to be a better student. You understand? Master something, master medicine, master science. And today, that's the topic we're going into, is the irrational fear that we all have of science. Some way, somehow, right? I know what starts it. I mean, Salakia, I know what started it. Right? The start of our fear of medicine and doctors and needles and science. I know it comes from us being slaves. I know that's what started the fear was the Tuskegee experiment, which so many of our people are ignorant to. They don't really know what the Tuskegee experiment it was. You understand? But we're going to break everything down tonight. We're going to break everything down tonight in this class. If you have any questions, of course, that's what I need. If you have any questions, of course, you feel free to put those questions in the comments section. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe this channel, these pages, everything ISUPK Kansas City, everything ISUPK. Make sure you like, you share, and you subscribe, please. Okay, we have the work of the Lord is being magnified in the earth. And that's just what the men above us and the men before us that came before us prayed to the Most High God for. That that the airways be open up, that the Most High God open up the airwaves and the cable access channels and the radio channels so that this truth can spread like wildfire through the earth. And here I am, just Lord allowed, doing my small part, the small brother that I am in this truth, doing my part to push this work of the Lord throughout all platforms so that everything can hear the truth of God, the truth of the Bible. You understand? From the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. All right. So with that being said, we'll go into tonight's class. Go ahead and clap it up. We'll go into tonight's topic. All right. If you have any questions, comments, check in for all of you young brothers and sisters who are trying to earn your Hebrew name. I know that's a rough deal there. That's a rough deal coming into the UPK, earning your Hebrew name for a young sister or brother. But it's well worth it. It's a lot of struggle and sacrifice to show you the kind of life that you're going to live when you come into this school. When you come into the truth, there's a war, and you have to prepare yourself for that war and that battle. And this is the right place to do it. This teaches you how to do it for both brothers and sisters alike. This is Tobit. So right now we're going to go into the book of Tobit. All right. We're going to go to the book of Tobit. All right. Chapter 3 and verse 8. And I briefly went over this on Sunday as we were breaking down terrible mothers. I briefly mentioned this and I went over it and kind of broke it down. But I wanted to get into the book of Tobit and the sister, I believe her name was Sarah, that was plagued with the demon Asmodeus. I wanted to get into that very briefly this evening in the class tonight, because it shows our people the kind of the enemy that you face when you have irrational fears. Your irrational fear is a demon. Does everyone know what an irrational fear is? An irrational fear is a fear that is not warranted, right? There's a fear that is absolutely warranted, meaning that you should be afraid. There's a fear that comes with death. There's a fear that comes with losing a loved one. There's a fear that comes with an operation, right? There's you having an open heart surgery, a triple bypass surgery on your heart. There's a fear that's warranted. You should feel that fear. There's a fear that comes with losing. Listen, if you're a parent in today's time, you absolutely are afraid of everything that you put your child into. You put your child into an extracurricular activity, there's a fear that comes with that. There's a fear with just sending your child to school on the school bus. There's a rational fear, which is sending your child every day to school. You're afraid that some oppressor's daughter or son will shoot up the school and unalive your child. You're afraid that your child will be touched by a teacher. There's a fear that comes with being a parent. That's love. That's rational. A fear that comes with, losing a loved one. A fear that comes with death. You're afraid to die. That's rational. That's a rational fear. It's understood. It's understandable why you would have that fear. Irrational fear is something that it's unwarranted. There's no reason for you to be afraid. Like medicine and science, something that's proven. There's no reason for anyone to be afraid of medicine and science. It's absolutely irrational. Everyone understand, because there's years of studies that have been done to prove what science and what math and what, they back up. It's proven. It's a proven fact. Like 1 + 1, right? There's a reason why those people who go to school to be a doctor and scientists go to school for so long. So that's irrational for you to be afraid of the vaccinations, for you to be afraid of vaccines, for you to be afraid of needles at the hospital. It's irrational. And so we're going to break down that demon. We're going to break down how to fight demons. We're going to break down that demon of, this is something that comes over you that you have to fight. It's the same with any demon of anything. It doesn't just have to be fear. It could be anything. You understand, the demon of the lust to buy prostitutes, the demon of the lust to be a whore, the demon of demons are everywhere and they're all over you. You understand? And that's why it's so important when you come into the truth, you learn how to fight those demons. And Lord allow, this is a class that will help brothers and sisters to fight the demon of irrational fear when it comes to vaccinations for your children. All right, vaccinations for your kids and science and medicine. There's no reason for you to be afraid of any of those things. Everyone understand? So with that being said, let's get our first scripture. This is Tobit chapter 3 and verse 8. All right. Now remember, as I just mentioned, this was about a sister, Mary, right? So like it's Sarah, not Sarah, Abraham's wife, but Sarah right here in the book of Tobit in the Apocrypha. And she was the sister who was plagued with demons. Everyone understand? And so now we're going to read this origin story of how they found out this sister Sarah had demons on her. Everyone understand? This is the book of Tobit, chapter 3 and verse 8. Because that she had been married to 7 husbands, whom Asmodeus, the evil spirit, had killed before they had lain with her. Asmodeus is the demon. That evil spirit is demon. Everyone understand? That's a demon this sister had on her name, Asmodeus. Now, does every demon in the Bible have a name? No. But it's a demon when you do something that you don't want to do and you do it anyway. That's a demon. You want to stop smoking, but you keep smoking. That's a demon. You understand? A demon makes you, or not makes you, a demon is on you that convinces you to do something unlawful. And a demon is a spirit, an evil spirit, like it says in the Bible, that forces you, that wants to force you to unalive yourself or unalive someone you love, unalive someone, right? That's a demon's job. You understand? And so now this sister, I believe her name was Sarah. That's what it said in the verse above it. It says that because that she had been married to 7 husbands, whom Asmodeus the evil spirit had killed before they had lain with her. Dost thou not know, said they, that thou hast strangled thine husbands? So now they're asking this sister, Sarah, they're asking, did you not know that you unalived your husband? Remember, that's what I just said. A demon, you don't want to smoke. Here you are lighting up a cigarette. You don't want to smoke the cigarette, but you smoke the cigarette anyway. That's a demon. You don't want to unalive this brother for having sex with your wife because you knew your wife was a whore. That's a demon. Salakia. You don't want to be a LGBTQ. You don't want to live an alternative lifestyle, what the world calls an alternative lifestyle, but you can't help yourself. That's a demon. You don't want to do it, but it happens anyway. That's how you know you have a demon, and you have to learn to fight that demon. And this is where you learn to do it in class here in the ISUPK under Commanding General Yana. All right. It says, does thou not know, said they, that thou hast strangled thine husbands? Thou hast had already 7 husbands, neither wast thou named after any of them. So this sister has had 7 men come to her bedchamber. 7 brothers have came to this sister's bedchamber to lie down with her, to marry her. And before they wake up the next morning, they are dead. This sister unalives them because of the demon Asmodeus that is on her. Everyone understand? This is Tobit chapter 3, verse 9. Wherefore dost thou beat us for them? If they be dead, go thy ways after them. Let us never see of thee either son or daughter. Verse 10. When she heard these things, she was very sorrowful. So this is another indication that someone is mentally ill. This is another indication of psychosis, of mental illness, of irrational fear, of you give me anything. Give me any mentally ill person. Give me any mental illness. And this is how you know they have a mental illness. There's psychosis, I believe it is. I believe it was psychosis. I was just doing some research and studying up on that. And when I was going over on Sunday about the terrible mothers on Mother's Day, I brought up Diane Downs and what was the other devil's name? Andrea Yates. Andrea Yates was deemed psychologically psychotic because when she unalived her children, you know what she said? Satan told her to do it, that she didn't have control over herself. That's a demon. And this sister here in the Bible, she has that same demon where I don't know what came over me. A lot of you brothers will talk to a woman that you will see how she talks to her children. You will see her abuse her kids. And then you are going to ask her this question. Why did you do that? Why did you smack your son? Why did you yell at your daughter? Why did you cuss your children out? And you know what she's going to say? That same old trope they always say. I didn't know I did that. What? I did that? I didn't know. That's a sister with a demon on her. She doesn't even know what she's doing. Here she is beating her children, allowing that boyfriend that she pranced around her kids to molest her children. And she years later, is not going to even remember because she had a demon on her, because she has a demon on her. And so many brothers and sisters alike have demons on them, just like that, where you don't even know what the hell you're doing. Schizophrenia, paranoia, bipolar disorder. You don't know what came over you. That's a demon, brother. And that's something you're going to have to fight when you come into this school. When you come into the truth, you're going to have to fight those demons. Everyone understand? So that this is the sister with Asmodeus on her. And she says, the Bible says, when she heard these things, she was very sorrowful, so that she thought to have strangled herself. She was so taken over by sadness. I'm going to put it back up there, Salakia. She was so overtaken by sadness that she thought to unalive herself. That's another thing about a demon. It will drive you to the point of depression, which is a terrible demon. Constant sorrow, constant sadness. She didn't even know she unalived these 7 men because of the demon on her. And then when she realized it, when someone told her, guess what she wanted to do? Unalive herself. Unalive herself. And we're going to go into a story tonight that just shows, along with the irrational fear you have of medicine, this is what is on so many of our people. This is what that demon that is on so many of our people, of depression, of sadness, because we're oppressed. We're an oppressed people. And what happens when you're oppressed? You begin to be sad. You're sad. You look at the life of our oppressor. You're a so-called Hispanic brother or sister, and you see the way our oppressor treats you and our people. You see how he treats the Mexicans and the Puerto Ricans and the Dominicans and the Venezuelans, and you look at how he lives, and you see how our oppressor buys mansion after mansion while you're struggling, while you're coming from a hard scrabble background, living hand to mouth, and you're struggling and scraping just to survive. You will begin to be sad and depressed. Now there's an invention called social media. Have you heard of it? You watch people's lives on social media trying to live vicariously through them because the things that you don't have. And so you see this social media content creator who also doesn't have what you think they have, but in your stupid mind, you think, oh my God, they just bought a new mansion. They just bought a new Rolls Royce. Where's my Rolls Royce? I'm 40 years old. I never owned a Rolls Royce. You're still poor. Now you're trying to get an OnlyFans to start so you can make money to buy a Rolls Royce. You're in a constant state of sadness and depression. And the internet does not help a lot of you. The internet is really a downfall for so many brothers and sisters. It enhances that demon that's already on you. And that demon of depression is next. As soon as some loved one dies, as soon as you get word of your aunt getting unalive, your cousin getting unalive, that demon of depression is next. It's next. It's right. It follows suit right behind any loss. It follows suit right behind any terrible accident, any bad news. Depression is following suit. You're going to feel depressed right after. Why? Because that demon doesn't want to leave you. That demon has to destroy somebody else. It just destroyed your cousin and your mother at Mother's Day. It was a Mother's Day shooting in D.C. I think they said it killed 10 people. Well, listen, that demon is wandering around the earth looking to see who he can destroy next. And he's going to find you because you're weak, because you never learned how to fight demons in the church. In the church, you only learn how to give in to demons. That's why they created an entire tenet and faith and belief of Christianity that God loves everybody, that no matter what you do, God's going to love you. Well, if I get high, even though I don't want to, how am I facing my demons? How do I ever get better? If God loves me no matter what, how do I get better? If God is going to love me if I molest children, if God is going to love me if I take advantage of women, if God is going to love me even though I steal, even though I unalive people, even though I'm abusive, even though I'm a womanizer, even though I'm a whoremonger or a pimp, if I'm the most terrible person in the world, how do I ever change if God loves me no matter what? You see the danger in that doctrine? And they've created an entire faith in doctrine based off of how to not get better and how to not fight demons. The Bible says this, be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect. You understand? The church believes that being perfect is an offense. It's something that you just can't achieve, but that is a rule in the Bible. It's something that you can do and that you must do. But you will never achieve that if you're always feeling like God is going to love me no matter what. What's the point of changing if God is going to love me? That's the problem with the Christian church. Everyone understand? You have to learn to fight your demons in the truth and the ISUPK, the Command and General Honor. Because when you are in the world, everything in the world feeds your demons. You're in the world trying to get off of drugs. How? When the world is telling you to do drugs. The music is telling you to do drugs. Molly Percocet, Percocet, Molly Percocet. The air is telling you to do drugs. Your baby's mother, the depression of child support is telling you to get high. Everything in the world is telling you to smoke, to get high. How in the world could you get off of drugs if you're not in the truth? Everything is teaching you to sin against God in the world. Putting a man on child support, divorcing your husband, getting high to get over pain. Everything in the world is encouraging our behavior to be that is not godly. But this Bible and this truth, this is how you learn to fight demons, how you learn to get better. The first step is understanding that God does not love you if you're a sinner. That's the first step. Everyone understand? You have to first understand that. Then after you get that through your thick skull, now you can finally understand that these demons are terrible. Terrible. And that's something I don't have to teach you. That teaches itself. What do they call the YNs? Demon. I'm on demon time. Everyone knows that there's a negative connotation associated with demons. Everyone is on demon time. They know that means he's about to steal, commit crime, sin, or unalive somebody on demon time. That's a terrible thing. Well, listen, it's not terrible when you're in the Christian church, because when you're in the Christian church, they allow you to sin. They encourage it. God loves you. God knows your heart. Well, hell, I can go and molest children then. I can go and beat your wife half to death. I can steal your wallet. God is going to love me anyway. That's the problem. You never learn how to fight your demons. And here you learn how to fight these demons. Everyone understand? Let's keep going. Tobit chapter 3, verse 10. And she said, I am the only daughter. And she said, I am the only daughter of my father. And if I do this, it shall be a reproach unto him. And I shall bring his old age with sorrow unto the grave. You see that? The sister had a little sense. The sister contemplated suicide, like so many sisters do out there in the world. There's so many sisters because of the child molestation they've endured when they were little girls, because of the abuse their mother put them through when they were young girls. Brother, these sisters are destroyed. So many brothers too. Our people, as a race of people, we're destroyed. Trauma is our lives. Trauma is a demon. And that is our lives. Everything in our life from the time we were born up until now have just been traumatic. And we've made songs off of our trauma, entertainment like Tyler Perry Studios off of our trauma. Our traumas don't get better in the world. They get worse. Everyone understand? They get worse. And so here we are in the truth, fighting that demon for you, trying to help you fight these demons, teaching you to fight these demons. This sister had a little bit of sense. She contemplated suicide like so many of us. And she said, but I'm my father's only daughter. Let's go back, Salakia. She said that I am the only daughter of my father. And if I do this, it shall be a reproach unto him. This will tarnish his reputation. And I shall bring his old age with sorrow until he's already an old man. I shall bring his old age with sorrow unto the grave. Do I want to unalive my older father because of my stupid decision to unalive myself? That is the contemplating. And listen, you know what's so heavy about this, Tobit, what we're reading? This is showing you the conversation. This is how demons operate, brother and sisters. This is what goes on. That demon, Satan, is telling you, you know, you could just get high one time. It ain't going to matter. You could just go ahead and get high. And here you are contemplating to yourself, but now I can't get high. I can't do that because if I do that, then I've sinned and I know sin is wrong. What the hell? God knows your heart. Just get, you see the contemplating is the demon. You're going back and forth in your mind. You're trying to battle that demon, which is good. It's good. What's sad is when you just give in to the demon. When you say, oh, what the hell? Go ahead and fire this blunt up. What the hell? Let me just go rob a few more cats to get a few more. Let me sell some more dope so I can pay for these diapers. When you just give in or succumb to the demon, you lost. But the contemplating is good. You need to go see a priest in the ISUPK and you tell them, this is what I've been contemplating. I had this sister, oof, she unalived 7 brothers that were going to be her husbands. that were her husband. She laid down with them in the bedchamber, woke up, and they were dead. You ain't as bad as she was. You understand? Your demon is just getting high and lust. That's your demon. Sisters, your demon is wanting to leave your husband for God knows what reason. For what do they call it? Irreconcilable differences. That's why you want to leave your husband for irreconcilable differences, whatever the hell that means. You have the demon to want power over your husband, sis. That's your demon. And brothers have a demon of lust. You look at that man's wife and you want to have sex with her. Contemplating is a good thing, but the problem is because of religion, you end up succumbing to the demon anyway. You understand? You end up succumbing to the demon. But this is at a time where our people had rulership where we lived, somewhat. You understand? It wasn't like in America. This was at a different time in Tobit, the 3rd chapter. We were fighting the Greeks. You understand? Fighting Antiochus, that wicked Grecian king. We were fighting against the Greeks, man. And we were fighting to keep our laws. And so you still had good brothers and sisters who were raising their families up with the law. It wasn't like now. Now in America, no one keeps the law. Everybody follows America. No one follows the God of the Bible. No one follows the God of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You follow your own lust, your own heart, your own mind. Not at this time. And so because of strong fathers that raised their daughters up and sons up in the truth the best they could, this sister had a little sense to understand, I will bring shame on my father in his old age if I commit suicide. There has to be a better option. And that's what is so powerful for our people to understand, is that there's something called hope, brothers and sisters. You have hope. You don't have to contemplate. You don't have to put a noose to your neck or a gun in your mouth. There's hope for you. The grave cannot honor God. There is nothing better than to be alive. You have hope. Just slow down. Just relax. Calm down. Everyone understand? Let's keep going. Then she prayed toward the window and said, Blessed art thou, O Yahweh, my power, and thine holy and glorious name is blessed and honorable forever. Let all thy works praise thee forever. This sister had some sense, man. She had a demon on her, yes, but so do you. But you don't even have the sense to pray to the Most High God of your fathers. She said, Oh, Most High, my power. She's praying into this window. She's facing this window. And she said, Blessed art thou, O Most High, my power. And thine holy and glorious name is blessed and honorable forever. Let all thy works praise thee forever. She contemplating this suicide, and she said, Nah, man, I can't do it. Number one, she honored her father, which is a powerful lesson to teach Black and Hispanic men and women, to honor your father. You understand? She honored her father so much, she said, if I alive myself, that's going to bring shame, reproach on his name in his old age, and I'll bring him down into his grave. That's called, she thought of her father. She honored him. You understand? That's love. So she loves somebody, and she knows someone loves her. Yes, she has a demon. Yes, this demon caused her to unalive 7 men. But guess what? There's hope, brother. There's hope, sister. Do you suffer with drug addiction? Sure you do. Do you suffer with the lust to have sex with whores or promiscuous women? Sure. Are you a sister with the demon of being a promiscuous woman? Sure. But is there hope for you? Yes, there's hope for you. Precept. Whosoever. Let's get that now. You understand? We'll come back to Tobit. Let's get that now. You understand? Because so many times our people think John 3:16 is for our oppressor. But this is what John 3:16 means. All right, let's go to 3 and 16. This is John chapter 3, verse 16. Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up on the screen. Here we go. John chapter 3, verse 16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. You see that, brothers and sisters? There's hope for you, Black man. There's hope for you, Latino and Hispanics. There's hope for us. You don't have to unalive yourself. You don't have to give in to demons. The Lord said, Christ said, whosoever. Who's the whosoever? blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We're the whosoever. We're the ones perishing and dying, not Donald Trump, not these Indians and the Pakistanis, not the Israelis or the Arabs. We are those people who are dying. I just saw this week on Monday, they had invited over 25 or over 55 or 75 white South African families to come over here to the United States of America, the same way they welcome the Ukrainians and the Russians and the Arabs and the Israelis and the Pakistanis and the Palestinians. But you know who they don't welcome into this country? The Latinos. They don't welcome La Raza. They don't welcome Catracho. They don't welcome Chapinas and Chapinos. They don't welcome them. Boricuas. They don't welcome them. They welcome heathen people. Heathens don't need Christ to save them in John 3:16, but we do. Catrachos, you need the Lord to save you, brother. You need it. So does the sisters and brothers here in America. We need his salvation because no one else is going to save us. This sister in Tobit understood that. There's hope. There's hope, sis. You don't give up so easy. Everyone understand there's hope. Whosoever believeth in him should not perish. What is perish? To die. Die is what? Sin. That's the wages of death. Sin. Who is perishing? We are perishing. Perishing from the lack of knowledge from the Christian church. That doctrine of Christianity that teaches us God loves you no matter what. So now you can't fight your demons. But there is hope for you, sister. There is hope for you, brother. You understand? There's hope. There's hope for us. Let's go back to the sister in Tobit. All right. This is Tobit chapter 3, verse 11. Oh, sorry, we just read that. Okay. So she's praying to the Lord. And that's another thing, brother. You understand? The Bible says this: believe in what you pray. You praying for salvation. You praying that the Lord heals you, takes away your demon, or helps you fight your demon. Now you have to do an action to show the Lord why he should help you fight your demon. Christians get it backwards. Christians think, I pray and that's it. Christians believe because I pray, that's the end all be all is praying. That is not the end all be all. Prayer is prayer is a terrible thing. What am I saying? Prayer is an amazing thing, and prayer does work, but prayer works when you work. You understand? You don't just pray to the Lord and that's it. You know, you just praying to the Lord and you praying. Okay, now what are you going to do to show the Lord why he should honor your prayer? Is she praying to the Lord? Yes, she's praying to the Lord. But we're going to read what she did so that the Most High God can honor her prayer. You understand? This is Tobit chapter 3, verse 12. And now, O Most High, I set mine eyes and my face toward thee. You understand? She's praying a prayer to the Lord, a heavy prayer. And say, take me out of the earth, that I may hear no more the reproach. What is she praying for? Death. That's what she's praying for. She's praying to be taken out of this earth. Why? Because she's unalive. Shalom, sis. She's praying to the Lord that he takes her away from this earth. Why? To unalive her. Why? Because she's unalive 7 brothers. Imagine a woman. Okay, brothers, you may not understand this because you're not a woman. But women, the demon for women is loneliness. It is a terrible thing to be lonely as a woman. Salakia. You got some mother or some older woman, some sister in her 30s, 40s. She's lonely. That's a terrible thing. She's got a box of roses next to her bed to warm her up at night. That's a rough thing. Sister, if I was you, I would come in here into the UPK and get a hardcore One West priest and prophet of God under Commandant General. Get you one of Commandant General soldiers. We will fill you up and listen. We will hold you, sis. A brother here is going to touch you, sis. He's going to hold you and love you, and he's going to be with you and cure your loneliness. He's going to give you that thing that cures that loneliness. Sisters in the world are lonely as hell. Imagine being a sister. She's lonely. She's buried 7 brothers, but she's unalived them all because of the demon, and she didn't even know it because she has a demon on her. And now she's lonely. And listen, loneliness will drive a woman into depression. These sisters you see out here are frustrated. I'll tell you why they're so frustrated. They're sexually frustrated out. So I hope you ain't got the kids watching. These sisters out here are sexually frustrated. They need a man. They need a brother to give them the thing they need. The problem is they'll have a man come over there and give them the thing they need, but he'll leave because you're such a terrible person that he can't stay with you past sex. He has an orgasm and he's leaving. You're such a terrible woman who desires power instead of being contrite. And so now a man can't live with you. He's going to leave you. And every man you get with is going to leave you. You understand? This is bad for sisters out in the world. I advise all sisters. I tell my physical sisters in the world, you girls need to come in here in the UPK. You understand? Come in here in the UPK and get you a hardcore One West brother because they will cure your loneliness, sis. You understand? You won't have to be lonely anymore. And so this sister here is lonely. This sister Sarah and Tobit. And she's praying to the Lord that he unalives her because she's unalived these 7 men. Imagine losing 7 husbands to your hand. You understand? You had 7 husbands and you unalived every last one of them because of this demon you have on you. Now, what is this demon? It's a mental illness. She has a mental illness like some schizophrenia, like a lot of those sisters out there in the world has paranoid schizophrenia, psychosis, multiple personality disorders. That's why you see sisters twitching and shaking, and sisters got so many demons on them from having sex with so many men in the world, from the past traumas of childhood. Sisters are full of demons. There's a lot of those out there, brother. You better be careful. You better be circumspect when you choose a wife. There's sisters out there, brother. They will unalive your children, like Andrea Yates and Diane Downs. Everyone understand? Let's keep going. Thou knowest, Lord, that I am pure from all sin with man. So here, this sister, brother, once again, she's praying this prayer to the Most High. Now I'm going to skip ahead just a little bit. We'll read verse 15 and I'm going to skip ahead so we can get to Tobias. Tobias was the brother who solved her problems. I pray y'all understand out there. That brother Tobias was a hardcore One West, hardcore brother who solved this sister's lonely problems. And he did it in a way where he used science and medicine. And that's what I want to get to. All right, so we're going to read this and then we'll skip ahead. So now this is Tobit chapter 3, verse 15. And that I never polluted my name, nor the name of my father in the land of my captivity. I am the only daughter of my father. Neither hath he any child to be his heir, neither any near kinsman, nor any son of his alive, to whom I may keep myself for a wife. My 7 husbands are already dead, and why should I live? Y'all hear that? That's the loneliness, man. Why should I live? The 7 men, brother, imagine a woman. Okay, now it's not hard to imagine because women go through husbands like you go through Jordan's shoes. You buy a new pair of Air Jordan shoes, the next year you get a new one. That's how women nowadays go through husbands. You go to a wedding today, the next year they're going to be divorced. You understand? You go, listen, whenever someone invites you to a wedding in your family, you say, oh, don't worry, I'll just come to the next one. I'll just come to your next one. That's how often weddings happen with these Black and Hispanic women. They cannot keep a husband. Divorce is more prevalent than marriage. You get divorced at a higher rate than you get married. So now you're divorced, you're going to get married again. It's not so uncommon these days for that to happen. But brother, back then, a sister got married 7 different times, 7 different men. That was rough. And on top of all of that, she lost all of her husbands due to them being unalived by her. That is rough, huh? That's a hard thing there. Huh? Now, this sister had 7 men, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, but 7 husbands. And all of them got unalived by her. She is depressed, Doc. You understand? Lonely and sad and depressed, but she has hope. She has hope. You understand? And she's praying to the Lord to help heal her, to help her. That's what she's doing. She's crying out for help. Like so many of our people who cry out for the Lord's help. The problem is we don't want to do the thing the Lord requires us for his help. There's the Lord to be safe, to have the Lord's safety, Salakia, to earn the Lord's safety. There's something he requires of us first. God isn't going to save a sinner. That's throughout the Bible. But there's something you can do for the Lord to see you and say, you know what? He needs help. She needs help. They need help. Let's keep going. Let's see. But if it please not thee that I should die, command some regard to be had of me, and pity taken of me, that I hear no more reproach. Brother, you can't help but damn near feel sorry for this sister, man. This sister has this demon, like so many of our sisters, and she's trying to fight this. She's trying to fight, unlike a lot of those sisters who have demons in the world. A lot of these sisters with demons in the world, they are not trying to fight those demons. Sad to say. But most of these sisters just give in because of Christianity, because of America. America enhances that sin. It enhances that demon. Christianity enhances that demon. So now instead of you trying to fight that demon, now you just give into it. But this is at a time, brother, where you had hardcore Black and Hispanic men, even though we were in captivity, still teaching their children the laws of God. Still, thanks to Maccabees, thanks to Judas Maccabees, thanks to Phineas and brothers in Maccabees and in the Apocrypha who fought against the Grecians, fought against Antiochus. So like you fought against Antiochus the king. They were fighting for what? So that we can keep our laws. So that way our children can grow up with the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Lord. So this was a sister who had that from her youth. She learned from her hardcore Black and Hispanic father, this is what a woman's supposed to be. This is the laws that we are supposed to follow. This is the God we pray to. This is our language. Everyone understand? She had that. So she's doing the best she can. She unalived these 7 men, her 7 husbands. She's going to prayer. She's asking God to have pity on her. That's key. There's something, brother, called being contrite. Sisters should look that word up. I'm going to name a sister that one day. It's a lot. I'm going to name a sister contrite. What is contrite in the Hebrew? I'm going to ask Officer Hazahah. I forgot to look it up before tonight's class. I forgot what it was in the Hebrew, contrite. That's a beautiful thing for a sister, to be broken and contrite and just in need of someone to save her. Some gallant brother to come and save her. That's a beautiful trait in a woman, to be contrite. This sister is contrite. She's given up. She's damn near on the brink of giving up. But she knows the God of her forefathers will hear her prayers. Everyone understand? Let's keep going. So the prayers of them both were heard before the majesty of the great power of the Most High. You understand? Let's keep going. I'm going to get to Tobias now. Everyone just bear with me. Oh, let's go. Let's get to Tobias. All right, so Lockie, just bear with me. Yep, here we go, right here. Here we go. Okay, here we go. This is Tobit chapter 4 and verse 2. And said with himself, I have wished for death. Wherefore do I not call for my son Tobias, that I may signify to him of the money before I die. So this was the father, I believe Ragul was the brother's name, his dad's name, or the brother's name. It was her father, his father. But her father went to his father, and this brother had Tobias, a son, to give to his daughter, right? So this is where we are right now in the story. Okay, so now this is verse 3. And when he had called him, he said, my son, when I am dead, bury me, and despise not thy mother, but honor her all the days of thy life, and do that which shall please her, and grieve her not. Okay, we're going to skip ahead just a little bit. Remember, my son, that she saw many dangers for thee when thou was in her womb, and when she is dead, bury her by me in one grave. That was also another common tradition amongst us. A common tradition is when we die, we want it to be buried with amongst our loved ones in our family. You had a rib or 7 ribs or 18 ribs, all of you want to be buried together. It's honorable. You understand? Funeral is not our culture. That comes from the Romans. That word funeral is to burn. And they would burn the body. What you today call what you put the urns, what do they call it? Being cremated. What you call being cremated, that's a actual funeral. fuel, that's to burn, and that's not our culture because it's not honorable. We salt the body. There's ancient Hebrew oils, ancient Israelite oils we pour on the body. Then we cover the body. We wrap that body up, put salt so that it preserves the body, and then that body goes into the ground to feed the worms. But that spirit lives on. That is our culture. You understand? And so it was also our culture to want to be buried amongst your loved ones, to be buried amongst your wives or your children. It will be like in your will, it will be a request that you would tell your oldest son or whoever was the heir to your family. Put me here in this land. Like how Jacob did. When Jacob died, he said he wanted to be carried to the land of, was it not Goshen? He wanted to be carried, I think it was. He wanted to be carried to the land where his wives were buried. And that's where he wanted to be buried. That's our custom or our culture. Everyone understand? Let's keep going. This is verse 5. My son, be mindful of the Most High, our power, all thy days, and let not thy will be set to sin or to transgress his commandments. Do uprightly all thy life long, and follow not the ways of the unrighteous. Y'all see that? Tonight is the Wednesday night law class. This is my job tonight, is to teach you how to keep the laws of God. By any way I can, teach you how to change your life by keeping God's commandments, keeping his laws, by not being set to sin, by not following the ways of the unrighteous. It is so very hard in a land that is unrighteous to not be unrighteous. I understand. I totally get it, right? You see your mother got divorced. You see your grandmother got divorced. Your cousins get high. Your father got high. Who would think that you wouldn't get high? Hell, your father was a drug addict. Why wouldn't you be a drug addict? But this is what's always important to remember. You are not them. Everyone understand? You are not. I know it's hard, but you are not them. You are your own person. You can make decisions for yourself. You saw the detriment of weed and drugs and pills and crack all throughout your community, throughout your life. How devastating it was for drugs to come into the Black community. You have to make the conscious effort, the moral effort to say, I saw drugs being sold in my community. I saw what it did to my father and my uncles and my cousins. I'm not going to do drugs. I'm not going to sell drugs. Although you live in an unrighteous society, you don't have to be unrighteous with the society. You don't have to be of the world just because you're in the world. You understand? Be not of the world, even though you're in the world. You don't have to live like the Americans live. You don't have to live like the Romans live, like the Assyrians live. You don't have to live like the Egyptians. You can live like an Israelite. And that's my job. That's the job of the teacher of the Wednesday night law class, is teaching our people how to keep the law in an unrighteous land. Our president of the United States is Donald Trump. Yikes. He is as much of the biggest sinner ever. He's a terrible person, a horrible person. How in the hell can you not be a greedy bastard like Donald Trump? He's your leader, like Antiochus was during the time of the Greeks and the Maccabees that we're reading about now in Tobit. I mean, absolute terrible men, terrible women. How can you imagine? These sisters, what do you think Sexy Red was going to grow up to be? Mae Jemison? Is that what you brothers thought that Megan Thee Stallion and Sexy Red and Cardi B would grow up to be? Look at who their role models were. Are you kidding me? You thought they were going to be modest, sweet, contrite, chaste women? They saw Playboy Bunny. They saw BET After Dark. You understand? They saw their mothers leaving their fathers and bringing men, prancing them through the house. And you thought she was going to be the next pediatric neurosurgeon? She is not. Sexy Red and Cardi B grew up to be just what they were supposed to be, whores, because that's all they saw. But this is what I'm offering to you, Black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian woman and man and child. You don't have to be what you saw growing up. You can change who you are. You understand? You can absolutely change who you are. You've seen people change for the worse. Well, you can change for the better. You can revolve. That's a revolution. Changing yourself. That's what you're supposed to do. You're not an animal. A bear can only be a bear. A sheep can only be a sheep. But you have something that animals don't have, which is sentientness. You're sentient and they're not. You have the word of God. They don't. They're animals. They're not sentient. They can't choose what to eat. They can't do that. They eat whatever they're hungry. You could put the pork back and get turkey bacon. You don't have to get pork bacon. You can put the Newports back and chew gum. You don't have to smoke. You don't have to be an alcoholic. You make that choice in your mind. A hyena can't do that. A lion can't do that. You can't. You're human. You fight against nature. Were you supposed to be a drug addict? Hell yeah. Look at where you grew up. Are you kidding me? You mean to tell me you're from the south side of Chicago? You're from 12th Street, Wayne Minor in Kansas City, and you thought you were going to be a pediatric neurosurgeon? Come on, man. Who are you fooling? You were supposed to go to prison. The problem is the church never taught us how to fight against nature. And that's our job as priests in the UPK. We're teaching you how to fight against your natural carnal lust. Fight against carnality, your flesh. Do you want to have sex with that big booty whore? Yes, you do. It's carnal, but you don't have to do it. And that's the key to understanding keeping the laws of God. You don't have a choice but to keep the laws of God. That's what you have to always remember. If you don't keep the laws of God, death ensues. Now, if you're comfortable with death, then be my guest. Keep getting high, I guess. I guess you're comfortable. Now, listen, when Tyree Nichols unalivers, those 3 black cops were found not guilty and acquitted from all of the crimes and charges, every Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian I knew was upset. When next time you pick up a Newport, be just as upset as yourself for having part in Tyree Nichols being unalived. When Sandra Bland was unalived with a shopper's bag in the back seat of a cop car 10 years ago, I don't know a Black or Hispanic that wasn't upset. When Trayvon Martin was unalived by that devil George Zimmerman, I don't know a Black or Hispanic who was not upset. Well, listen, when you go to have sex with that prostitute, brother, remember you killed Trayvon Martin. Just remember that. Hey, shalom, mighty man. Hey, Kalawan, if you want to jump on here with me, you message me out and I'll send you the link if you want to jump on here with me out. You understand, Kalawan? Shalom, Trooper Kalawan. Give him a hand. You understand? Most High in Christ. Okay, if you want to jump on the Kalawan, I'll send you the link so you can jump on, mighty man. All right. That way you can physically be here in class with me. All right. With that being said, let's keep going. All right, we're in the book of Tobit, of Kalawan, the book of Tobit. Oh, here we go. My son, be mindful. Okay, did we read this? My son, be mindful. Yeah, we read that. So there we go. Keep the laws of God. That's the point. Don't be unrighteous because you live amongst unrighteous people. That's the whole point. All right, I think I broke that down plain. Don't sin. Is it tempting to sin? Hell yeah. Everybody is tempted. Christ was tempted. But you don't have to give in to your temptation. What is that temptation? A demon. That's what you always have to remember. That's a demon that you don't have to succumb to. You fight it. Fight it. And this is the class, and this is the school, and this is the truth. The only truth, and nothing but the truth, where you're going to learn how to fight demons. Anywhere else, you're going to learn how to succumb to demons. Hell, the Christian church welcomes demons. Everyone understand? This is Tobit chapter 4, verse 6. For if thou deal truly, thy doing shall prosperously succeed to thee, and to all them that live justly. Okay, now I'm going to skip ahead now. For time's sake, I'm going to skip ahead. I'm just going to give you the science, because that's what we're going into. Where do I need to go? All right, let's jump ahead. We're in Tobit, the 4th chapter. Oh, let's go to chapter 6. Okay, let's go to chapter 6. All right, here we go. This is what we need right here, brothers and sisters. Let's go to Tobit chapter 6 and verse 1. All right. This is Tobit chapter 6, verse 1. And as they went on their journey, they came in the evening to the river Tigris. Okay, no sweat, mighty man. I see your text message. No sweat out. Brother said he had a slave. No sweat. Whenever we teach class, Akalawan, you want to jump in, me or Elisha, you just ask for that link. You understand? It goes for Kunaya, all of y'all brothers and sisters here in Kansas City. That way you can physically be in class. You understand? You don't have to just watch it online. Everyone understand? And that goes to any young officer or trooper that's in any other zone. If you're watching these Kansas City ISUPK Kansas City classes and you want to be in class, All you have to do is ask for that link, and I will give you the link so you can come in class. Everyone understand? All right, this is Tobit chapter 6, verse 1. And as they went on their journey, they came in the evening to the river Tigris, and they lodged there. This is verse 2. And when the young man went down to wash himself, a fish leaped out of the river and would have devoured him. Everyone see this. Now remember, Tobias is the brother that we're reading about right now. We just read the sister who unalived her 7 husbands in the bedchamber. Before the sun rose, they were dead. She killed them. Asmodeus, the name of the demon that was on that sister, that demon unalived those 7 brothers. Well, there was one man named Tobias, and he listened to the voice of the Most High God. He was a young brother who was raised up in the truth, the knowledge, and the understanding of the Most High by a hardcore father. And the Bible says that just what we read in 4 and 8 or 4 and 11, that his father taught him to walk in righteousness. What is walking in righteousness? Keeping the laws of God. To walk in righteousness, even though you're in an unrighteous land. To obey the laws of God. To not succumb to sin and to evil and demons. Be a man of character. That's what Tobias was, a man of character. Like the brothers in the UPK. A brother who has character, a brother who is responsible, who will never waver from the law, whether it be from the right or the left. He is going to stay straight on the straight and narrow path. That's who Commanding General Yohana is raising up in these ranks in the ISUPK. For the FBI, the CIA, and everyone that watched all of those videos that we flooding the internet with from Hebrew Academy, give them a hand. You understand? This is who we are. We're brothers who are walking that straight and narrow path. Brothers who will not waver to the left or the right. No matter the money, we won't sell out like your leaders did in the Christian church and the civil rights movement. We won't sell our brothers out like the black Muslims. You understand? We won't unalive each other and hurt each other, but we will be men of character. We will have something called integrity. That's a lost art. When no one is looking, we're going to do what's right. No matter if we're in an unrighteous land or if we're in the kingdom of heaven, we're going to do the right thing. That's the men of God that Commanding General Yohana is raising up in the ISUPK. And this brother Tobias was him. That's who he was. He was a brother who was a hardcore brother, young brother. And his father recommended him to marry this sister. Everyone understand? Now, the Bible says that he went down to a river and a fish leaped out of the river and would have devoured him. Let's keep going. Salakia. Then the angel said unto him, take the fish. And the young man laid hold of the fish and drew it to land. To whom the angel said, open the fish and take the heart and the liver and the gall and put them up safely. Now, this is where I want everyone watching to key in on. I want you to listen and pay attention to this because this is very important. This is something that can be missed when you read the Bible with Christian understanding. Remember, this is the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge. It's universal. It's practical. You can use it everywhere. You can use it universally. And it's knowledge. It's not something that's a lie like what they teach you in church. It's not feelings and emotions. It is knowledge, real foundational proof, evidence, knowledge, like science and medicine. Okay, this is Tobit, chapter 6. Salaki, chapter 6 and verse 4. The angel told Tobit this. This is an angel of God. To whom the angel said, open the fish and take the heart and the liver and the gall and put them up safely. Now, Kalawan, I have a question for you, brother. You say you watching. I got a question for you. Well, I'll ask you the question after we read verse 5. I ain't gonna do you like that. I'll give you some more time. We're gonna read verse 5. No, I'll go ahead and ask you. Why did the angel of God tell Tobias to take the liver and the gall and the heart and to save it? Why did he tell him that? Does anyone know? It doesn't just have to be the trooper. Does anyone know why the angel of God ordered Tobias that fish that was in that river? He told him to get the heart, the gall, and the liver and to save it. The sister that's watching, the brothers that's watching. Anybody know? Does anybody know the reason why the angel of God told Tobias to get that liver, that heart, and that gall and save it? Does anybody know? I'll give you about 5 more seconds as I take a drink of water. Someone answer this question. I'll see how much you've been studying in your off time. Does anybody know? Answer. Someone answer. Don't all speak at one time. You understand? I got viewers on here watching. Kalawan, do you know? The brother said he had a slave, no sweat. You understand? Let's keep reading. Let's keep going. This is verse 5. So the young man did as the angel commanded him, and when they had roasted the fish, they did eat it. Then they both went on their way till they drew near to Ecbatane. No, that's not it. The brother said, is it because we do not eat those parts? Remember, if it's a lawful fish, if it's any lawful animal, you can eat the parts of any lawful animal. You understand? You can eat the heart of a chicken. You can eat the heart of a cow, the heart of a bison. You can eat the liver of the chicken. They call them gizzards. They have chicken gizzards, and you can eat chicken livers. I love chicken gizzards and livers. You understand? You put that G sauce on it from Go Chicken Go on 7th Street, brother. You got your meal with a dinner roll. Come on, Doc. We from the South. You understand? Old Southern Judite. We eat gizzards and livers and fried everything. Everyone understand? So yes, no, that's not the reason why, because you can eat any part of a lawful animal, Doc. But we're going to keep reading the Kalawan. Don't worry, don't sweat it, Doc. It ain't no sweat. You know what I mean? Who would know something like this? Because when you're coming into the truth and you're reading the Bible from a Christian's point of view, you're going to miss so much in the Bible. And that's the problem with the Christian church. The Christian church doesn't teach our people how to comprehend what they read. It's not practical in the church. The church is not practical. The UPK is practical knowledge, where you're going to learn how to apply what you learn to life. The Bible is not fairy tales. So get whatever you're thinking out your head. You're thinking it's something to do with fairy tales and some arbitrary reason. It's not. It's a real reason why the angel of God commanded Tobias to save the gall of that fish, the heart of that fish, and the liver of that fish. It's a real reason why. It's a practical reason why. We're going to get to it in just a second. Okay, it said the young man did as the angel commanded. We read that. All right, let's keep going. Verse 6. Then the young man said to the angel, Brother Azarias, to what use is the heart and the liver and the gall? So this is my question. Why did he have him save the heart, the liver, and the gall of that fish? You're about to get the answer, Kalawan. Remember, Tobias asked the same question. Why did you have me save this gall and this liver and the heart? This is verse 7. And he said unto him, touching the heart and the liver, if a devil or an evil spirit trouble any, we must make a smoke thereof before the man or the woman, and the party shall be no more vexed. Kalawan, break that down for me, if you're still watching, Kalawan, break that down for me. The angel of God answered. The brother said, Tobias asked, why did you have me save the liver, the gall, and the heart of that fish? We ate the fish, but you have me save those specific organs. Why did you have me save those specific organs? I'm going to give you a second. Kalawan, are you still with me, Kalawan? What does that mean? Sisters and brothers. It don't matter if it's a sister, you can answer too. If it's sisters on there watching, sisters, brothers, anybody can answer the question. What is happening here? The angel of God answered Tobias, and he said unto him, touching the heart and the liver, if a devil or an evil spirit trouble any, we must make a smoke thereof before the man or the woman, and the party shall be no more vexed. What is happening here? Someone break that down for me. Break it. You still there, Carlo? Okay, I see you say you still there. Now break that down for me. Someone break that down. Anybody? Anybody know? Kalawan, you know? Sisters that's watching, does anybody know? I'll read it one more time and give you a chance to answer. Okay. Tobit chapter 6, verse. Remember, just remember what the story is. Okay, at Kalawan, you close. The brother said, is this an offering? You're close. Okay, you're very close. You're walking down the path. You're on the street. But no, it's not an offering. Okay, I'm going to read it one more time. This is Tobit chapter 6, verse 7. Okay, just before I read it, remember, Kalawan, this here, what is Tobias even doing in the story? The story isn't about just him. He's going to marry a sister that has a demon on her. Remember that. What did I say a demon was? In her case, what is her demon? She has a mental illness. She has schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, psychosis. She has a mental illness. Everyone understand? Maybe you need that to understand this, because I just gave you the answer. This sister has a mental illness. Her name was Sarah. She killed or unalived 7 of her husbands on the wedding night. As they were in the wedding bed, the bed chamber, before the morning came, they were dead. 7 men, 7. She went through 1 husband, a 2nd husband, a 3rd husband, a 4th husband, a 5th husband, a 6th husband, and then a 7th husband. Before they told her all of your husbands died, she didn't even know she unalived them because she has a mental illness. She has a demon on her named Asmodeus. The angel of God told Tobias, touching the heart and the liver, if a devil or an evil spirit trouble any, we must make a smoke thereof before the man or the woman, and the party shall be no more vexed. When you say an offering, a Kalawan, that sounds like hocus pocus. Okay? That sounds like Hollywood. That sounds like Disney Channel doing Halloween. Okay, give the brother a hand. The brother said, so he's casting out demons. Okay, how is he casting out demons? How is he doing it, Akalawan? How is the heart and the liver and the gall of this fish casting out demons? And before you say with the Lord's help, of course, everything is with the Lord's providence. So yes, but I'm almost giving you the answer. How is he casting these demons out of this woman with the gall, the liver, and the heart of a fish? How is he doing it? You said he's casting out demons. Yes, that's true. This is going to cast out her demons, but how is it casting out? What is this? It's a word I need. Maybe you need to look at the title of tonight's class, and then that'll give you the answer. Okay? It's a word I need. Anybody know? Kalawan? Does anybody know? The brother said casting out demons. Yeah. Yeah, Kalawan, he's casting out demons, but there's something else. I'm going to keep reading on. I ain't going to give y'all the answer just yet, because this goes right into my topic. So I ain't going to give you the answer just yet, but let's keep reading, all right? Let's keep going. This is verse 8. As for the gall, it is good to anoint a man that hath wit that has whiteness in his eyes, and he shall be healed. Come on, man. Give the brother a hand. Damn right, Kalawan. The brother got it. The brother said a form of meds, a form of medication. Yes, Kalawan. Well done, warrior. Absolutely well done. Yes. This is not a form of, this is medication. What the angel of God is having Tobias do is called science. It's science, Akim. It's not, don't think of the Bible like Christians do. Well, he's got this heart and the liver and the gall, because it's like how these sisters in the world of Kalawan, you see these weird sisters, they got these crystals and rocks, and they burn sage, and they think sage is going to cleanse their vagina of all of the men they've had sex with. They think burning sage is going to get rid of demons magically. It's all magic in the world. That's pseudoscience. That's what that's called, pseudoscience. That's a bunch of garbage, and it means nothing. Burning crystals, burning sage and wearing crystals is just like water baptism. You are a whore before you got baptized. You're a whore after you get baptized. You're just a wet whore. It's pseudoscience. It doesn't work. It's just a symbol in your mind to make you think that what you're doing is going to be useful, and it is a waste of time. Just like going to the Christian church is a waste of time. All of that sage burning you do, it does nothing. Sage is what you put on chicken, young sister. That's the reason why these sisters can't cook a Kalawan, because they're burning the what do they call it in KFC? The 57 herbs and spices, the 37 herbs and spices that you're supposed to be frying that chicken with, sis. That's what you're burning, that you think that you're keeping an old man out or some old demon away. That is garbage, sis. You put that sage on chicken, you put it on some mashed potatoes, and you have a good dinner. But sage is not to be burned. To spirits don't go away because of sage. You're just a lunatic like this sister Sarah, who had a demon on her. You're a lunatic. You have schizophrenia. That's why you burn sage. You're a goddamn lunatic. Well, listen, the Lord is not a lunatic. God, in his infinite wisdom, he knows how to get rid of demons out. You understand? And this angel of God that was sent to Tobias, he told Tobias to get this specific fish out of the water. That fish had a liver, gall, and heart. And they are medications. Do you understand? They're medications, not sage. Sage is not a medication. That's an herb and a spice. Crystals and rocks. Let me break women's hearts with that too, Kalawan. You sisters that put those crystals and those rocks on your skin, it's really not doing anything to your skin. Copper and rocks and sage, it's nothing. It's just like the astrology. I'm a Cancer. That means I fight. I'm a Libra, so I give good head. I'm a Aries. That means I got good vagina. That means my vagina gets extra wet. You're a whore and you're stupid as can be. That is nothing. That is another way. You know what we should look up, Kalawan? Anybody out there can feel free to look up who owns those copper mines and those rock mines that these silly Erykah Badu, I wear copper and burn sage, lustful whores get their copper and their sage from. Let's see if a black woman owns those copper mines. That copper you put on your skin that you think you're cleansing your blood. I heard some sister when I was in the oppressor's military. Kalawan, did you know about women in the oppressor's military? In specific, in Esau's Navy. I was in the oppressor's Navy, and I won't forget I met this sister. She was a bad sister, brother, but she was a lunatic. I got the hell away from her as fast as I could. She used to wear these copper beads, whatever, wristlets, bands. And she would have this copper on her. And I asked her one day, what do you wear that copper for? And she told me, oh, I wear this copper because it cleanses the blood and it opens up the third eye. She was one of those conscious community lunatics that Captain Tazariak destroyed. She was a conscious community lunatic who opened her legs for everybody on that goddamn boat. Her legs were open for everybody. and she wore copper that's supposed to cleanse your blood. Listen, I pray that sister is watching this class today. If that sister was watching this class today, I would tell her, take off all of that copper and close your legs. Closing your legs cleans your blood, not copper. You allowing all those men to have sex with you. That's what gives you HIV. That's a real blood disorder. AIDS, herpes simplex, HPV, human papilloma virus. You having sex with the whole entire command, but you think that copper is going to cleanse your blood. You're a lunatic like this sister Sarah in the book of Tobit, full of demons and schizophrenia and psychosis. That's what she was, Akalawan. Stay the hell away from them sisters with all that copper and conscious nut, just conscious sage burning, copper wearing whores. That's what they are, whores, lunatics. Well, listen, Akalawan. There was a reason why that angel had this brother use the heart, the gall, and the liver, save it, because it was medication. It was medication. Everyone understand? As for the gall, it is good to anoint a man that hath whiteness in his eyes, and he shall be healed. Now, you're going to need a little, history, I guess, a little knowledge on this. Where do the world's medications come from today? Same brother, Kalawan. Do you know? Anyone can answer. Does anyone know where medications come from today? Obviously, nobody say the laboratory, because that's where medications are made and synthesized, in a laboratory. It's not a laboratory. I mean, where do they find the plants, the trees, the fishes that create your medicine today? I just gave you the goddamn answer. The fishes, the trees, and the plants in what is that? Not Panama. What is that? That rainforest that's in South America. There's a rainforest in South America where virtually the world's medications come from. It comes from those fishes that are down there, the trees that are down there, and the plants that are down there. Some botanists, some chemists, you understand, they synthesize the things they find to make your allergy medicine, your prescription medications, your whatever medications. That is a real life fact that you can go and look up right now. Okay? This is science, brothers and sisters. This is science. And when they were come near to Rages, the angel said to the young man, brother, today we shall lodge with Ragu, who is thy cousin. He also hath one only daughter named Sarah. I will speak for her, that she may be given thee for a wife. For to thee doth the right of her appertain, seeing thou only art of her kindred. Remember, as our customs, you marry a woman that is bone of your bone, flesh of your flesh, just like Adam and Eve. The old way to have sex before Adam and Eve was having sex outside of your race. That's what sex was a long time ago, at the beginning of time, since Genesis. But Adam changed all of that. Adam, if you don't know, was the first brother in the truth. And the Lord gave him a sister who also believed what he believed. A sister who was bone of his bone and flesh of his flesh. When else did that happen? Abraham and Sarah. When else did that happen? With Isaac, with Rachel, with Jacob, with Rachel, with Jacob, and with Leah, and who was the other one? Jacob, Rachel. Her name wasn't Sarah. Somebody help me the hell out, man. Rachel, Jacob with his wives. Okay, when he went to see his uncle Laban, that was bone of his bone and flesh of his flesh. Family. That is our way to have sex with your family. And when I say family, I don't mean your sister or your brothers. Okay, I don't mean the children that your parents have. I mean family, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You're not supposed to go outside of your race like Kanye West and Shannon Sharp to have sex with a woman. That is unlawful. Sex is had in your family. You go get you one of these bad sisters out of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And that angel of God, he told Tobias, That is what he was going to do. He said, that's your cousin Ragul. And so now he went to Ragul. He spoke to him. He said, for to thee doth the right of her appertain. You have right to this sister because she's your sister. She's your family. You understand? Seeing thou only art her kindred, you are her family. So yeah, you can be her husband. And listen, this angel of God knew that she needed a husband. Why? Because the sister Sarah prayed to the Most High God to give her a husband. She prayed that the Lord, if he doesn't see fit to take her life, that she has hope to have a husband now. Remember, we read that in Tobit chapter 4, verse 8 and 11. Chapter 4, verse 8 through 11, I should say. That sister Sarah had hope. Did she have a demon on her? Yes, she had a demon on her. But she had hope, Ak. She had hope, sis. She didn't give up. That sister fought, and then the Lord gave her Tobias. The angel of God was there to answer that sister Sarah's prayer. And this is what Tobit chapter 6, verse 12 says. And the maid is fair and wise. Now therefore hear me, and I will speak to her father. And when we return from raid, listen, that's another, you can look over that when you read this the first time. The angel told Tobias, and the maid is fair and wise. He said, what does the word fair mean? The word fair means beautiful and bad, like these sisters in the ISUPK, like these Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian sisters. They are bad. I don't know what the hell Shannon Sharp was thinking. That sister that devil Shannon Sharp was with told Shannon Sharp, I can't wait for you to see this booty or smack this booty or something. What booty she was talking about, I don't know, because there was no booty there. Does everyone understand? There was nothing. That's white women are flat as this goddamn table. These sisters, brother, oof. Sisters will do something to you out. They are the baddest woman on the face of the earth, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian women. And this brother, it's like this angel told Tobias, she's fair, she's gorgeous, and she's wise. Just because that sister got a demon on her don't mean there's not anything there. What you have to do is you have to bring her into the truth, and this sister will change. She will learn how to fight those demons. She will get counseling from the counseling department here in the UPK, and that sister will make a revolution and she will change. She won't be the same woman that you knew her in the world. She had sex with 100 men in the world. She comes in here and cleansed of all of that. She's had sex with no one. She's a virgin. That's what sisters need. You need the UPK, sis. You need to come in here and change your life. These sisters in the world out there that are fair and that are wise. They are beautiful and they are smart. These sisters in the world have the potential to be Mae Jemison. I don't know what the hell is wrong with them. I don't know why they're not going to medical school. Sis, go to medical school. Go be a pediatric neurosurgeon. Go find out go do a case study on why so many of our children die from sudden infant death syndrome. Go search it out. Go find it out. You sisters have the ability to go be nurses. You got the ability to go be a goddamn doctor. You don't have to do hair and nails. Leave that to a 15-year-old girl in the ghetto. Go be a lawyer and a doctor and a physician. That's what you should be focusing your life on. You sisters have the capability to be so smart and so wise, and you're already gorgeous. All you got to do is just pair that with coming into the UPK. Before you know it, brother, I'm trying to tell you something, Makalawan. I'm trying to tell you something. These sisters flood this school, brother. Ooh-wee. Sisters are gorgeous out. They just have a lot of mental problems that came from the Christian church and the trauma of their Christian upbringing. But when they come into UPK out, if they're willing to fight their demons like this sister Sarah is, or like this sister Sarah did in the Bible, they're willing to change. They'll be an amazing woman in the work of the Lord. Everyone understand? This is Tobit chapter 6, verse 12. And the maid is fair and wise. Now, therefore, hear me, and I will speak to her father. And when we return from rages, we will celebrate the marriage. For I know that Ragul cannot marry her to another according to the law of Moses, but he shall be guilty of death, because the right of inheritance doth rather appertain to thee than to any other. You understand? Let's keep going. Now let's skip ahead just a little bit. I'm going to get to the end of this. This is good. We need this. We got to read this, Salaki. We can't skip over this. This is chapter 6, verse 13 of Tobit. Then the young man answered the angel, I have heard, brother Azarias, that this maid have been given to 7 men who all died in the marriage chamber. What is Tobias saying? He's a little nervous. He's a little scared, right? You see that bad sister that wear all them she got all that copper on her. The tail, she's got so much tail back there. You see her, but you're scared to death because you know that she comes with a lot of problems. That's Tobias. He's seeing her like, damn. She's bad as hell. She's smart as hell. She's some nurse or pediatric neurosurgeon. She's smart and bad, but her reputation isn't that good, right? I heard that she's unalive 7 of her husbands in the bedchamber. That's what Tobias told his angel, Azarias. He said, listen, brother, I've heard things about this sister you try to marry me to. She's killed all of her husbands, 7 of them. Let's keep going. He was nervous, Salakia. I would be too, Tobias. I would be too. I would be nervous as hell. I know she's bad, but goddamn. Okay, I don't want to die. You understand? I don't know if that tail is worth death. So some of you brothers don't think that. Salakia. Some of you brothers, y'all would die. I see the neighborhoods y'all go into. Y'all risk y'all lives to have sex with a bad sister. I hear you. That is not me. Salakia. I like my life. I don't know if I would risk it, going to war with, Commander General Yohana's enemies, but I don't know if I'll risk my life for tail, brother. Okay, this brother Tobias, he's a smart man. All right, so Laki, I understand Tobias's pain. Okay, this is Tobit chapter 6, verse 14. And now I am the only son of my father, and I am afraid, lest if I go in unto her, I die. You hear that? He's afraid, brother. That's what I just said. This brother Tobias is scared to death. You mess with a woman with schizophrenia, I would be scared out. Some of you brothers, it don't phase y'all. That type of woman will kill you out. I know you think it's funny. I know that trope of, man, if she ain't crazy, her vagina ain't good. I don't know where that started. Women who are sane have just as good as vagina as women who are insane. I don't even know what in the hell is wrong with you, brothers. What is wrong with you? You're with a woman with paranoid schizophrenia. She has bipolar disorder. Listen, you brothers are rough. You're rough. You're a rough brother to be with a woman like that, because that type of woman will kill you the same way this sister Sarah killed 7 of her husbands because of that demon. She don't even know what she's doing. She doesn't even know what she's doing. She has a demon on her, and that demon needs to be, you need to take her to counsel. You need to get counseling and help so that she doesn't stay that way. You understand? Tobias was absolutely afraid, and he had every right to be. But let's keep going. Let's read what the angel of God told him. Lest if I go in unto her, I die as the other before. For a wicked spirit loveth her, which hurteth nobody, but those which come unto her. Wherefore I also fear lest I die, and bring my father's and my mother's life because of me to the grave with sorrow. For they have no other son to bury them. You hear that? He's their only son, and he's scared to death. He's going to have the same fate as the previous 7 husbands. Let's keep going. Oh, do I want this right here? Let's go. Let's skip ahead to, this is what I need right here. Kalawan, make sure this is it right here. This is medicine, young brother. This is real science, not copper, not that stuff that burning sage. This here is real life science. It's in the Bible. So for all of you nuts in the church that say science and the Bible don't agree with each other, science and the Bible is congruent. They're congruent. You understand? To Tobit chapter 6, verse 16. And when thou shalt come into the marriage chamber, thou shalt take the ashes of perfume and shall lay upon them some of the heart and liver of the fish, and shall make a smoke with it. Verse 17. And the devil shall smell it and flee away and never come again any more. But when thou shalt come to her, rise up both of you and pray to the Most High, which is merciful, who will have pity on you and save you. Fear not, for she is appointed unto thee from the beginning, and thou shalt preserve her, and she shall go with thee. Moreover, I suppose that she shall bear thee children. Now when Tobias had heard these things, he loved her, and his heart was effectually joined to her. Listen to that, brother. This is black love here, brother. I don't know what y'all looking at in the world. This brother here, and let that also be proof to what General Muhammad, like everything he says is right. Let this also be proof to what General Muhammad always says, that you can marry any sister. That whole notion in the world that she has to dress a certain way, look a certain way, be a certain way, brother, you can marry any sister. If Commander Juliana ordered you to marry this sister, you can marry this sister. All you need is the law of God, to honor the law of God. Be a man of character like Tobias. That's all you need, sister. You the same. You know, arranged marriages used to be a thing in Israel. You didn't see who that woman was before you married her. She didn't know who the hell you were. Y'all's fathers got together, and that brother said, hey, Gabawar, hey, listen, brother, that sister right here, your daughter. Hey, listen, brother, that sister there, man, I got a son right here for your daughter when they get older. Time goes on, they get older. They're 24, 25. She's a pediatric neurosurgeon. He's a lawyer like Captain REI. Give him a hand. And the two of them, brother, they get married, and they married until they die. Arranged marriages don't get into divorce. Now, here you are arranging your marriage, looking at her body. Damn, she don't have the right body for me. She don't have the right body type for me. You're looking at a certain type of woman when you should be adhering to the law, statutes of God. The God of the Bible, those laws, statutes, and commandments of this Bible, that's what you should be focusing on. Before you know it, the Lord will send you a sister out. And the same goes for a sister. If you don't make your entire life about chasing men or chasing women, you could marry any sister or brother. It won't even matter. All you have to do is be compassionate, loving, caring, have some, forgiveness for each other. Remember that that's your sister, and remember he's your brother. That marriage is going to last forever. It'll be a One West UPK marriage, last forever. And listen, you too will be effectually joined to that sister the way that Tobias felt for this sister. She don't have to look a certain way and be, listen, you can marry this type of sister. All you have to do is be a man of character. Everyone understand? So here we go. So now, this angel of the Lord instructed Tobias to burn this incense that had the gall of the liver, the liver, the gall, and the heart that came out of this specific fish. He ordered him to burn this thing. He ordered him to, this is what you're going to do. This is science, brothers and sisters. This is medicine. And this was the point. This goes into my topic. This was the point of tonight. See, tonight, our people have such an irrational fear of medicine. We have such an irrational fear of doctors and of science. We absolutely are. We don't have a warranted fear. That's what irrational is. It's not, you don't have a reason to be afraid of medicine. You don't have a reason to be afraid of doctors and science. We listen to idiots on TikTok and Instagram all day that are not doctors and that are not scientists, and we formulate our miseducated opinion based off what some idiot says about real life science and medicine. What this scripture just described, what this verse just described, was medicine. This was medicine on how to get rid of schizophrenia. You know, there's medicine. There's a pill that wife of yours with schizophrenia, she can take a pill. She can pop a pill in her mouth that will be prescribed to her from a psychiatrist or doctor, clinical psychologist, and she will be able to take that pill, and the schizophrenia is gone now. Someone with bipolar disorder, some sister with bipolar disorder, she pops a pill that is prescribed from her from a legal doctor, and that bipolar disorder will go away. This is what we just read in the Bible. That's why this angel of God had Tobias take the liver, the gall, and the heart from that fish so that he could cure this demon that was on this sister, right? Now, that brings me into my topic. Let's keep going. Now, we are going to drop that. Let's go to Diane Downs, okay? Just real quick. I know I went over it a little bit if you join me in my Sunday's class this past Sunday. We're going to drop that. We're going to go to Diane Downs. I may not even have to go to, instead of going to Diane Downs, let's go to this story right here. Okay. Before I jump there, everyone just bear with me. That's all you got to do. Bear with me. Before I go there, let's go to measles. Now, this is what I need every Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian parent to understand. Get your child vaccinated. You understand? You don't have to be afraid of medicine. In the UPK, we are not afraid of medicine and science. And I'm going to show you the reason why in just 1 second. Right? I'm going to show you the reason why in just 1 second. There's no reason to be afraid of science and doctors and medicine. Do you know what you should be afraid of if you're Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian? You should be afraid of death. That's what you should be afraid of. You should be afraid to die from your lack of knowledge, because that is what's going to happen to you and your children if you don't arm them with science and medicine against death, against disease, against viruses. Everyone understand? Now, I have a story here that I'm going to read to you. I have a story here that I'm going to read. Okay? This is a map that shows more than 1,000 measles cases across the U.S. as outbreak grows. The United States has recorded the most measles cases in a single year since a 2019 wave, and the number continues to grow. And just to throw this out there, I wonder who the president of the United States was in 2019. I think his name was Donald J. Stupid Trump. And he's the stupid president of the disgusting United States of America right now. He's the same idiot and bastard that was in charge of the United States then. He's the same idiot that's in charge of the United States now. That's not a coincidence, Akim. It's not a coincidence that Donald Trump was the president of the United States when the first measles outbreak happened. And there's not a coincidence that he's the president of the United States when this measles outbreak happens. You understand? Let's keep going. And the number continues to grow. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention data shows the majority of the infections have been reported in an outbreak in West Texas that has led to the deaths of 2 children. The number of cases in Texas alone has grown to 709, while total cases nationwide have surpassed 1,000, with infections confirmed in at least 30 states. Now, this is what I want to, I read that, right? Now, just remember that. Okay? Now, let's get Diane Downs. Does anybody, before I get started, does anybody in the comments want to tell me who Diane Downs was? Does anybody know who she was? Anybody ever heard of her before? Right? If you're in the comments, you want to tell me who she was? Does anybody know? Diane Downs was an oppressor act, a white woman, I believe in Florida in the 80s. And she shot 4 of her children in the back seat of a car. And then she turned the gun on herself. She shot herself in the arm. Then she drove her crazy ass to the hospital and lied to the doctors and said that someone tried to carjack her. Now we're going to read the reason why she did this. Everyone understand? Okay. It says late one May night in 1983, Diane Downs sped into an emergency room drop-off in Springfield, Oregon, with a horrifying story to tell. Her 3 small children, Christy, 8 years old, Cheryl, 7, and Danny, 3, were inside her blood-soaked car, shot at close range. In the frantic scene, hospital employees quickly determined that Cheryl was already dead and that Christy and Danny were clinging to life. So she did end up killing these kids, right? Some of them died. They succumbed to the gunshot wound that she shot them with. She shot them with a gun. Then she turned the gun on herself, shot herself in the arm, and then lied and said she was carjacked. Now, remember, we just read about a sister in the Bible with a demon, Sarah, who had Asmodeus, a demon on her. This is another wicked, evil devil who had plenty of a legion of demons on her. It says Downs had also been shot in the left forearm through her wound, though her wound was not life-threatening. When police arrived at the scene, Downs, 27 at the time, told them a bizarre story of being flagged down by a bushy-haired stranger on a dark, deserted country road. Okay, let's keep going down. By this time, it was dark, and the kids were sleeping, and she drove down the road. A man stepped out from the bush. Okay, this is just her line. This is this devil right here. This is Diane Downs. She looks like just yuck. Downs said she then faked throwing her keys to divert the gunman's attention, pushed him out of the way, jumped back in her car, and raced to the hospital with her badly wounded children. She says it was during the struggle with the stranger that she was shot in the arm. Okay, so now this devil, this white woman, she lied to the police and said that this armed, bushy-haired man, they tried to attack me. They tried to take my car. They shot my kids. Then they shot me in the arm. I managed to get away, drive to the hospital, right? Let's keep going. Okay, within a month of the shootings with her 2 surviving children in the hospital, Downs began giving a series. Okay, not that one. That's not what I want. Let's keep going down. Let's keep going down. Okay, I think this is what I want. It says prosecutors laid out the evidence against Downs, all leading up to their star witness. After months of physical and mental therapy, Christy Downs was finally able to take the stand and tell what happened to her that horrible night. Her daughter testified against her. You understand? Downs was found guilty in June and sentenced to life in prison plus 50 years. Between the verdict and sentencing, the court recessed so that Downs could give birth to and she was pregnant at the time. Ain't that something? Okay, it don't say it in this article. I'm gonna tell you the reason why she did it, right? Later on in life, she's still alive, by the way. This devil, Diane Downs, is still alive. She's in prison right now, rightfully so. She said that the reason why she shot her children was because the man that she was having an affair with at that time didn't want children and didn't like children. So irrationally, she just said, well, I mean, what the hell? You don't want children. So even though these are my children, I'm going to unalive them for you. Now, I need you to remember that as we continue to read about measles and the influenza outbreak for kids, and you not getting your kids vaccinated, right? Diane Downs was a crazy devil. She was some old crazy, evil, wicked devil who tried to unalive all of her kids and was successful in 2 of her children dying. She's serving time the rest of her life in prison for that right now because she unalived her children based off of her stupid, irrational decision. Does everyone understand? Now, let's go to this story right here. I want you to watch this video. All right.
Tomorrow, the Department of State Health Services will release updated numbers on the measles outbreak in Texas. So far, 1 child has died from measles here in Texas, and now we are hearing from her parents. Teresa Woodard joins us with their comments about the MMR vaccine, Teresa.
Yeah, Cynthia, the parents said their daughter Kaylee was 6 years old when she died on February 26th. The organization that interviewed them and posted that interview online is extremely anti-vaccine. And the parents still are too.
Her fever didn't want to go away.
The interview with this mother and father began in English, but at times switched to German with a translator. They are part of the Mennonite community in West Texas, identified by the state as the center of a measles outbreak that's infected more than 300 people since January. Their 6-year-old daughter developed pneumonia, a side effect of measles. She was the first death recorded from measles in the U.S. in a decade. She was unvaccinated.
Now, did y'all hear that? These 2 oppressors in Texas, I believe it said, they had a daughter, a little baby, sweet baby girl, just like Diane Downs. They had a sweet little baby girl, a little innocent daughter, some precious little girl. And she had pneumonia, right? And when she caught pneumonia, just like anyone who catches pneumonia, you can catch the influenza virus, you can catch the flu. And she ended up catching the flu. Her body's young. Her immune system can't fight off all of that disease and infection, right? They refused to give her a vaccination that would have saved her life. They refused. And their daughter died. Now, this is what I want you to see. This is what I need you to see.
She says they would still say, don't do the shots.
He was unvaccinated.
She says they would still say, don't do the shots. There's doctors that can help with measles. They're not as bad as they're making it out to be.
The nonprofit Children's Health Defense conducted the interview. Robert F. Kennedy.
Oh, brothers, sisters, did you hear that? Their sweet little baby daughter died of measles from not being vaccinated. They refused her the vaccination. After their daughter died of measles, they said they would still not give her the vaccination if they had to do it over again. Knowing that she would die, knowing that the vaccine would have saved and spared her life, they still would not have given that daughter of theirs the vaccination. Brothers, sisters, I know Diane Downs is evil. I know she's evil and wicked, and she's full of demons for unaliving her 3 kids for a man. What are these parents here? That's my question to you. What are they? Diane Downs is evil. She's stupid. She's evil. She's wicked. She should be in prison for her entire life, and she's currently in prison for her entire life. What about them? All right, what about them? They refuse the vaccinations. They oppose vaccines. So do you. They lost their daughter because they did not get their daughter vaccinated while she had pneumonia, even though the doctors, the experts warned them, get your child vaccinated. She's going to get the measles. She's going to die of the measles. They said, no, we're not going to get them vaccinated. We're not going to get her vaccinated. She died. They said that if they had to go back and do it over again, they still would not get her the vaccination. What are they? That's what I need. Diane Downs is evil. I get that. She's terrible. She's psychotic. She has irrational fear, rational fear, whatever the hell. She's schizophrenic. She has a demon. What about them? What are they? If Diane Downs is evil, if Diane Downs is crazy, if Diane Downs is weird, if she deserves life in prison, the death penalty, what should happen to them? Here's my question to you. What should happen to you when you don't get your child vaccinated? You see that this little precious little daughter died from not being vaccinated. Your child is going to die from not being vaccinated. What should happen to you? If Diane Downs is evil and crazy and this should happen to her, she should be in prison. Well, doesn't that mean that you should be in prison too? Isn't that what that means? Shouldn't you serve time in prison for being a nut who doesn't believe in, who's going to get your child killed? Let me tell you something. Those 2 oppressors they deserve to be in the same predicament as Diane Downs because they killed their daughter. They did. And now they're using some silly religious cop-out that a lot of these fake Israelite groups use to get out of serving time in prison because you refuse your child a vaccination because you're some idiot. Now you use religious beliefs because they're Mormon or some form of Mormonism, some silly Mormon religious Christianity, and now their daughter is dead because they refuse to give her a vaccination. They should have the same fate as Diane Downs, and so should you, because you put your children in danger of death. Don't you know as a parent, it's your job to stop trauma that comes to your child, to prevent trauma, to prevent death? As a parent, your job is to do everything to save your child. Not in America. Your dumbass refuses vaccinations for a child. You have multiple men come around your children that molest your children. You leave the father of your children. You do everything to put your child in danger, just like Diane Downs did. Diane Downs unalived and shot her kids. Andrea Yates drowned 5, 6 of her children to death. She drowned them, methodically drowned them. She's in prison. Diane Downs is in prison. What should happen to you? They're crazy. They're psychotic. What does that say about you? What, are you scared of medicine and vaccines? Let's see what the Bible says about medicine and doctors and vaccines. There's no reason for you to have an irrational fear of something that God created. This is what Ecclesiasticus said. This is what the Bible says. Ecclesiasticus chapter 38, verse 1. Honor a physician with the honor due unto him for the uses which he may have of him, for the Most High hath created him. You nuts don't have to be afraid of doctors. You don't have to be afraid of science, which is what medicine is, science. You don't have to be afraid of medicine and needles and vaccines. God created the physician. Don't you understand that? God created the doctor. He created the neurosurgeon. He created the optometrist. He created the pulmonologist. He created the nurses. He created the pediatrician. He created them. He created the science that gave Tobias the knowledge to cure his wife of the demon Asmodeus. Just like he gave these doctors the knowledge and the wisdom and the science to cure your child of pneumonia and measles and influenza. Now, what are you going to do? Refuse their help? Refuse their care? The Bible says to honor a physician with the honor due unto him, for the uses which ye may have of him. What are the uses you have for a mechanic? He's going to fix your car. What are the uses you have for a plumber? He's going to unclog your toilet. He's going to change that P-trap under your sink. What are the uses you have for an electrician? He's going to make sure your power is on in your house. You aren't qualified to do it. So someone who has an expertise outside of yours has to do it. Well, the physician is the same way. The physician went to school for 15 goddamn years that you did not. He has a knowledge that you don't understand, that is in the science of saving people's lives, the science of helping people, of creating vaccines like immunologists, oncologists, virologists, microbiologists, that is going to save someone's lives, not to hurt them. You are afraid of life when you should be afraid of death. Everyone understand? You're afraid of the thing that's going to save your life, like a physician. You're not afraid of the weed that you smoke. You're not afraid to have men that are not the child's father around your children. You're not afraid to shoot up heroin. You're not afraid to try new drugs. You're not afraid to go on that girls' trip in Miami by yourself. You're not afraid to go to Dubai by yourself. You're not afraid of the thing that's going to kill you, unalive you. You're not afraid of that thing, but you are afraid of the thing that's going to give you life, that's going to help you live, that gives your children the chance of longevity. That you're afraid of. That's a demon, brother. That's a demon, sister. And you have it on you if you're afraid of vaccines and medicine. Let's keep going. For of the Most High cometh healing, and he shall receive honor of the king. The honor, the healing comes from God. If your child gets healed from cancer, or your child gets healed from, what did that child have? What the hell did that little girl have? What the hell was it called? Salakia. Measles. She had pneumonia and then succumbed to measles because her parents didn't give her a vaccine. If your child gets cured from measles and pneumonia and the influenza, it's the Lord that have done it. God saved your child through the hand of the doctor, the physician, the oncologist. God saved that child. The Bible says, for of the Most High cometh healing. Just like we just read about the sister Sarah and Tobit, the book of Tobit, that brother Tobias listened to the angel of God, and he was able to cure his new wife of a mental illness. with medicine, with science, the same way that your doctor and physician, your child's pediatrician, is going to save your child's life with medicine and science. Verse 3, the skill of the physician shall lift up his head, and in the sight of great men he shall be in admiration. That's an admirable, honorable job that those physicians have. You're a sister or brother out there striving to be a doctor. You want to go to medical school. Have at it, brother. Have at it, sister. That's a noble and admirable job. Unlike the world teaches you to be a rapper and a goddamn nail stylist and a hairdresser. There's nothing wrong with those professions. But it's something admirable about someone who will dedicate themselves to a discipline for 12 plus years to save someone else's life using science and the medicine that God created. That's an admirable job. You sisters too that are nurses, you RNs and C-techs and radiological technicians, that's also an admirable thing. You're in the field of science and medicine. It means what? You're saving people's lives. Unlike some professions that unalive people, like the profession of being a preacher or a lion-ass reverend, they're in the job of killing people. You're in the job of saving people. You're some politician. Your job is to lie to people, to manipulate people, not a doctor, not a physician. Their job is to be honest with you in their professional opinion to save your life. That's admirable, man. Who could deny that? Who could argue that? Verse 4, the Most High have created medicines. You hear that? This is the precept you need to Tobit chapter 4, verse 8 through 11. The Most High have created medicines out of the earth. You hear that? So Kalawan, the trooper that answered that question about this is medicine. That gall and that liver and that heart that Tobias was ordered by the angel of God to take out and save from that fish, that was medicine. The Lord created medicines. You're scared of medicine and vaccines and science. You're afraid of God then. You're afraid of the thing that's going to save your life. You're not afraid to eat too much mac and cheese. You're not afraid to have sex with whores unprotected. You're not afraid to go and vote. You're not afraid to go to a Trump rally. You're not afraid to have sex with white women. You're not afraid to get high, to smoke Swisher Sweets, Black and Milds, Newports, but you're afraid of medicine that God created. Listen, after Dylan Storm Roof unalived all of those black people in the Christian church, you Negroes still went to church. White people have been unaliving black people in churches since the 1800s. You go to church faithfully. You're not afraid to go to church physically and sit in the pews. Don't you know a white man with an AR-15 is waiting outside of the church with a noose and a cross that's burning on your yard? He's waiting to kill you once you get out the church. You're not afraid to go to church. Church has killed so many people. The pastor is responsible for the death of so many patrons. But medicine have saved the lives of so many. And you're afraid of that. I know why. Because you don't want to live. Asmodeus has a hold on you. That demon has a hold on you. Satan has a hold on you. Our oppressor has a hold on you. They want you to die. And you just go right along with it. In the UPK, you're ordered to live. You cannot die. You don't have the right to die in the ISUPK. We find every way for you to live. And that the demon does not want. Let's keep going. The Lord hath created, the Most High hath created medicines out of the earth. And he that is wise will not abhor them. You understand? Here you are afraid of science and medicine and doctors. And God is the one who created them. The Bible says, if you're wise, you will not abhor them. You won't hate them. You won't despise them because they come from the Most High. And they're here to save you, to benefit you. Let's keep going. Verse 5. Was not the water made sweet with wood? You know what that is? That's more science, young man. Anyone know how to purify water? Officer Townsend Doc, give him a hand. In Hebrew Academy, he was teaching brothers how to purify dirty water for the last days. We were getting prepared for the last days, training men of God for the last days. You know how you purify water? You have to put it over wood, charcoal, which is burnt wood. That's what the Bible is telling you to do. Just like the water was made sweet by purifying it over wood. Let's keep going. That the virtue thereof might be known. God is the one who created science, the science on how to purify water, the science on how to stop schizophrenia, the science on how to stop mental illness. God created that, man. Verse 6, and this is the last verse. And he hath given men skill, that he might be honored in his marvelous work. Brother, I know, sister, I know you know, before this class, a little after this class, you're not afraid of science anymore. I get that you are afraid, but this is what you better know, that the Lord hath given men skill. That skill that you have, God gave it to you. I don't care if you're a carpenter. I don't care if you're an electrician, a plumber, a mechanic, a physician. The Lord gave you skill. That's who gave you skill. God did. That he might be honored in his marvelous work. Not so you're honored, but that he might be honored. That God gets the glory. God gets the praise from what he gave you. You're someone who has the propensity to study those MCAT books. I'm going to tell you this, brother. It's rough. I'm just telling you straight up and down. It's rough. But guess what? It's not impossible. You can go and study those MCAT books. You can get on Kaplan and get that program that helps you pay that monthly subscription, and then go and study that MCAT and take that MCAT. You a brother who want to be a lawyer like Captain REI, go and study that LSAT. Go to school, man. Learn sciences and learn law. Learn biology and chemistry. You understand? Those things will profit us in these last days. What good is it for you to do nothing and to learn nothing and to be an idiot? God gets no glory by you being an idiot. You're some stupid nut who doesn't know anything. What profit is that? What profit is that for God? How does he gain? How does he get honor off of your lack of knowledge? How does he profit? How is he honored from your inability to know something, from your ignorance? God isn't honored through your ignorance. He's honored that he may be honored in his marvelous works. His marvelous works aren't you being a dummy and being afraid of medicines and science. That's not how the Lord is honored. The Lord is honored by you going to undergrad, go to a college, go minor in chemistry, biology, neuroscience. Then you go on, take that MCAT, you pass that MCAT, that honors and glorifies the Lord. Then you go on to medical school. And you spend 4 years in medical school learning the basics of medicine and being a doctor. Then you go on to your residency. You want to be an orthopedic surgeon? That's 5-7 years plus a fellowship. You want to be a pediatric neurosurgeon? 7 years plus a 1-year fellowship. You want to be a family medicine doctor? 3 years of after medical school. You want to be a dentist? You do 4 years of dental school, then you go on to be a dentist. That honors God. That's how God is honored, by you being able to break down case studies of how the synapse connects to this, and how to goddamn all of those case studies that you got to study and learn, and MCAT and chemistry and organic chemistry. You want to be an engineer? Go be an engineer, civil engineer, architectural engineer, structural engineer. You go be a mechanical, electrical engineer. You go master in that, get a PhD in that. Go be a professor and teach it to the young generation of our people. That honors God. You being a dummy, knowing nothing. What are you doing? How does that honor God? You only speak one language. You have no formal education. You barely speak English. How are you honoring the Most High God in your ignorance? You are not. He doesn't need you. Go be somebody that the Most High can use to benefit the work of the Lord and to benefit the people, his people, and to glorify his name. That you will be honored, and he will be too. Everyone understand? Now with that, I have to go ahead and close it out. All right. The water for joining with me tonight. Join us again this Saturday for Sabbath service, and then Sunday we have class. Our class is here in Kansas City. Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. We'll be adding more in the coming weeks, so stay tuned. With that being said, we are the ISUPK, started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is the commandment. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10, means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashera, 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. We are currently in the feast of first fruits. Everyone understand? Remind Akim and Akwab to check the bulletin board in the hallway. Go on your school social media website. Every school in the UPK has a link tree. Every school in the UPK has a Facebook. As the bulletin board is social media. Everyone understand? Now, in physical school buildings, there are still physical school boards, bulletin boards that have information. But every school in the UPK, every camp, you can go onto their social media page, like, share, subscribe, and you will be filled in with all of the events and up-to-date knowledge. Everyone understand? If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. Boots, shirt, pants, headband, and war scarf. With that, imagine, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Amadim Shabbat, Amadim, Barak, Yahab Hashem Yahab Thumb, Yajimatah, Sar, face the sisters. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Amadim Shabbat, Amadim, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Alathun, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Yajimatah, dismissed.